My name is Kennedy Ng, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, the Dream City. Tonight, as always, every Sunday at 7 p.m., the Union City, the Dream City, New Jersey, we have a very special guest. Tonight, I feel so happy and honored to have a very special guest. Former President of the Board of Education. Jeanette, how you want me to call you? Jeanette means
Jeannie, we know each other for so many years.
How you feeling tonight?
I'm doing great, and I want to thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here with you, Kennedy.
I'm more happy than you. I'm more happy than you. I know. We have a lot of things to talk, and I know the Dream City gonna have the opportunity to have a lot of information about education, about your background, and other things that people don't know yet, but they will know.
Sounds good to me.
Can you talk about yourself, your family, your background, your parents, and the first years in Union City if you attend to Union City School?
Absolutely. A little bit about myself. I come from a family of immigrants. My grandparents, my great-grandparents, they were from Spain. They moved to Cuba looking for a better life, which is where my parents were born. My mother was a teacher, first grade teacher in Cuba.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood, absolutely. And my father was an amateur baseball player in Cuba. They worked very hard. I should mention my grandparents. They were not very educated, but they always knew the importance of education.
And that's the most important in the family. Remember that years back, education always has been important, but our grandparents, they born educated already.
Absolutely. My grandmother was orphaned very young. She was 13 years old, so being the oldest daughter in the family, she had to stay home and take care of her siblings and take care of the household. But she always knew how important it was to read. For her, reading was everything. And even though she only made it to 6th grade, she was an avid reader. She had read Les Miserables from Victor Hugo. And I remember when I was in college, I loved having conversations about the themes. Well, I had the pleasure of taking her to Broadway before she passed away to see it live. And these are the things that were instilled in me as a child, that education, always reading.
Did you go to school, a grammar school in Union City?
I absolutely did. I went to St. Michael's Grammar School, and then from there I went to Emerson High School. I'm a bulldog.
Emerson High School. I was a music teacher for a year there.
Oh, good. Oh.
Back in 1987.
Well, I graduated from 1988, so we must have crossed paths at some point.
Were you a good girl?
The best. Seriously, the best.
Okay. I believe you. Do you remember anything about when you were like in 1st grade, 2nd grade? Your teachers, your friends?
Absolutely. I had a wonderful childhood in Union City. My family was very poor when they came from Cuba, but that didn't mean anything.
Hey, it means a lot. When we come from a very, low income family, as me, we appreciate everything in life. Even a piece of bread that you eat with a little coffee, Cuban coffee, Dominican coffee, we feel good about it, and we know from where that piece of bread is coming from.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I never felt poor though. I look back now and I see how we struggled, but I never felt poor.
I can see that.
I had love, support, encouragement. I'll tell you a little secret about my aspirations when I was younger. My dream job when I was, I want to say maybe 8th grade, 9th grade, I wanted to be the first female president of the United States.
Wow, very close. You were the president of the Board of Education, and you have a good future.
Thank you. And there's still hope. We still haven't had a female president.
You know, one of the things that I always like about you, you're always happy and smiling and like energetic. That's a good thing to have as a person.
Thank you. I try. There's always someone, regardless of how bad of a day you're having, there's always somebody who has it worse. So it's important to appreciate what we have and embrace those moments. At least that's how I was always raised.
Good. Tell me about your goals when you were in high school. As a young girl, we always think about the future, and you picture yourself doing something and doing that. And when the moment comes that you go to college, sometimes you change your mind. Tell me about it.
You're so right about that. When I was in high school, it was never a doubt. I needed to go to college. That was never a second thought. I knew that my education involved higher education. What did I want to study? I wasn't really sure. And you're right. We change our minds as we go through the process. I have been blessed in my journey through education and through life to always have those mentors that have given me guidance when I wasn't sure. I always like to say, we have coaches. Our mentors are our coaches.
I know.
And who were our first coaches? Our parents, right?
You got that right.
Yes. And then our teachers become our coaches. And then we meet other people in our path in life that guide us and give us that good advice. So I will tell you that when I went to college, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to study. And I said, I really like psychology. And I got my bachelor's.
We have something in common.
Yes, we do. But then, as you know, with a bachelor's in psychology, there's very limited opportunities. So I went back to school again after I graduated from Rutgers. I went to Seton Hall, got my master's in psychology.
I understand when you were in high school, and you once told me that you work as a student part-time in City Hall.
I absolutely did.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
And you know why I'm asking you? Because I'm the one who in City Hall who is handling the students from the high school for years.
And it's such a wonderful opportunity to work at City Hall and see the inner workings of the different departments and how they're there to serve the public, the community.
Exactly.
I started off, I think the first department I worked in was rent control.
Oh my God.
Why did you say that?
I'm the administrator of rent
Oh
control.
my goodness.
I'm going to look for your name there. Let's see if you were a good worker there.
The best. I already told you I was the best. I worked actually with Carlos Perez.
Okay.
And it was a long time ago.
I see a lot of letters with that name, Carlos Perez. Good name.
I also worked for, at the time, he was a commissioner, Bruce Walter.
Okay.
And I even worked as a receptionist. He was a mayor at that time.
So you learn a lot.
Oh, absolutely. For Bob Menendez, I was a receptionist in his office.
Wow. See, things that the Dream City, well, the community of Union City didn't know about you, even myself. But this is one of the things for this YouTube program every Sunday at 7 p.m. to inform, to educate, and to get things that we see a person every day working, teachers, a professional like you, and we sometimes don't imagine the things that you have done. Jeanette, tell me something. When I met you, and I believe, if you remember, you were part of the one of the board in City Hall. I believe was redevelopment agency.
That is correct.
And that was the first time that I met you there. And you know that now actually I am the executive director of that agency.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, for a couple of years, more than 5 years. But I just wanted to ask you, by that time, were you the president of the Board of Education? And we're talking about 8 years, 9 years back.
I was on the board, the redevelopment board, for a short period of time. I believe it was only a year. That was my first introduction to being a board member. And then I remember our mayor and state senator, Brian P. Stack, called me one day and said, Jeannie, I'm thinking about expanding.
And you are the perfect candidate for that position.
And at first I was so nervous about accepting that responsibility. I said, I don't know, this is a much larger board. Let me think about it.
It is.
And he said to me, go ahead, think about it, take your time. By the time I got home and I parked the car, I said, I have to call him and say, absolutely, I will do this. I was intrigued.
That was a good decision.
Thank you.
Very good. What did you learn being president of the Board of Education of Union City?
I have learned so much throughout the years. Every day was a different situation that arose. I don't know if you remember when I was on the board. Some days I went in and I said, I want to talk about the kids. I want to talk about our students. I don't want to talk
I remember those days.
Yeah, about all these other things, the laws, changing paperwork, but that is a very important part of what we do. And I do have to say that it was probably the highlight for me was all the schools that we built. When I walk into those buildings and I see, wow, these are such welcoming environments for our students. At Early Childhood Center where the floor is heated.
It is something so emotional happiness when you open a brand new school and knowing that you were part of that.
Yes.
In pro of our kids, I mean, school kids are the future of the entire planet.
Absolutely. I always feel, and I say this, their success is our success. When our students are successful, that we see them going onto the career, regardless of the career that they choose, whether it be in the arts, law school, teaching, medicine, professional sports.
Tell me about it. Any specific or happy story that you can tell me that have happened to you in the Board of Education as a president or before?
Wow, so many different.
Did you want to be the president?
At first, no, but then I embraced it and I loved it. And thinking back, I think one of the nicest things that has happened as a board member, as a trustee, as a president, was when I believe it was when we finished the renovation of Gilmore
School.
The children sent this beautiful, it was a tree with little heart notes on making up the leaves of the tree. And they all just wrote a simple thank you or what they liked about their new school. And I enjoyed that so much because it made it real.
Something special.
Yes. That's probably one of the nicest.
That doesn't have any price. It's like so priceless. It's the emotion when you see kids happy, having a brand new school, good teachers.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is something special.
Absolutely, I agree.
I know that you are not anymore the president of the Board of Education. I was so sad when you step out, okay?
Thank you.
I feel so like a family for many years. Do you think that was the right time to step out from the Board of Education as a president?
Yes, it was an interesting time in my life. I'll tell you a little bit of the background behind my decision. I know we didn't talk too much about this. At the time, my daughter was a junior in high school. It was towards, I want to say, the middle of the year. And I was having a conversation with one of her advisors at school. And she had asked me, well, did your daughter take the SAT test yet? And I said, no, she has time next year. And she said, no, she should have done this already. And started bringing up all these things that she needed to do in preparation for college for the following year. And I have to be honest with you, Kennedy, I felt like such a horrible mother because I said, I'm so focused. I am not only on the board in Union City, I'm also on the board at Hudson County Community College, and I was working full-time in Jersey City.
I know the feelings. You know, we have good heart, helping the community, helping there. And sometimes we just so into that our family suffer in a good way because we helping other people. That family first.
Absolutely.
And we have to take care of our kids. And I mean, not regret. We have been doing a lot of good things, but as a human being, as a parent, as a father, we have to take care of our kids too.
And so that was very pivotal for me. At that point, I said, I need to focus on her. And we've had such a great time looking at the colleges, and she's set. She's good now.
See, that was a surprise for the members of the board. I'm a member too. I'm still there, and I feel so happy. When you came that day, say this is my last meeting,
Yes.
But you know, you're still around. And now I understand the people, a lot of people, Dream City, a lot of people from the community don't know this, but I'm going to tell them that now you work for the Board of Education. And it is very important that you tell the Dream City, the community, the students, the teachers, and everybody that know you very well, that you are part of the team of the school district in Union City. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. My background is as a school psychologist for 22 years. I've worked in Patterson, Board of Education, that was my first job, and then more recently in Jersey City. So I have a lot of experience in that range. And then the opportunity arose, a position open for Director of Special Education in Union City. And I have to be honest, I felt like I left
When I saw that, I said, that's a good fit for her.
I did. I felt like I left a piece of my heart because Union City's home to me. And I'm here now. I am the Director of Special Education, and I'm so excited to work with the families to take it to a different level. We're developing new programs.
And you fill the criteria, all the requirements, and no doubt about it. I mean, and you know the system, you know the kids, you know the environment. It's just perfect.
Thank you, Kennedy.
It's just perfect.
I'm thrilled to be back.
And I know you as a professional, you have what the community and the students need. Before I said we have something in common, and you know that I work in a hospital.
Yes.
That's a psychiatric hospital here in the county for many years. And we always, during minutes, we look at each other because we sometimes as a professional, as a psychology, people don't understand what's going on. But there's something here that tell us what's going on.
It's in our training. We
It's
know that, and it's important to look to see why things happen. We have so many situations with students that are struggling. Mental health issues are very much.
Especially now.
Yes. I think I would not want to be a teenager in today's day and age.
Very hard.
It's very difficult, but we have a lot more support for them, and we're here for them, and we're just moving forward, looking for different ways to support our families. We're all one big family in Union City. I feel very strongly about that.
That's good. Jeannie, what are you bringing to the table as a professional, the position that you are now, that already you have seen that was not part of the dinner?
Okay, I will tell you. And I know we're both vegetarians. That's another thing, right?
That's a good one.
Yes, but I'm not expecting everyone to be a vegetarian. But what am I bringing to the table? I'm very much a fan of being efficient. I think everyone's time is valuable. And I feel the same way for our students, their families. So what we're doing now, in my new role, we're looking at streamlining programs, expanding programs that can better support our families and our students. Being a member of the Hudson County Community College Board, this probably is going to sound a little funny, me saying this, but I don't believe college is for everyone. And that's something that we're taking.
I am agree with you,
Yes.
100%.
Yes. And so we're taking a very close look at that. And we're looking at developing and expanding opportunities for students that may not require a 4-year college degree. Something that perhaps can be a certificate, diploma, or an associate's degree, or something that we can provide even at the secondary level. So there's a lot of fun things coming up.
That's very good to know. That's good. The Dream City and the community of Union City, New Jersey, knows about this. And I already said at the beginning of the program that Jeannie was bringing a lot of information, education, surprises, and things that you didn't know. Now that you are working for the district and you were a board trustee and then president, how do you see the Board of Education now as a professional working, not as a trustee? And this is good to know because I'm still sitting as a board member, and we like to know things to be better.
And that's an excellent question. I definitely have a great appreciation and understanding of what it is to be on the board, the decisions that need to be made, the policies that have to be developed, which if you don't experience that, it's very easy to say on this side where I'm at now, saying, why isn't it getting done? Why is this taking so long? And sometimes a decision can't be made until a policy is created or revised, or it just really needs to involve more information from the stakeholders in the community, the parents, the teachers, the
Jeanette,
students.
you just got to the point, because a lot of people in the outside, in the community, they do not understand. I don't blame them. We have a lot of things to be discussed, and to approve or not to approve.
Absolutely.
And to approve or not to approve, there's a lot of things that have to be balanced.
If it was that easy to say just approve or not approve,
exactly.
It's researching.
When sometimes we say no is because we have reasons to say no. Those no is not a negative thing. It's in pro of our kid education.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the no are good. I always see you like perfect dressing, and perfect hair, good shoes and everything. You really like that. Don't talk too much to my wife about it. Okay?
We both like shoes. Your wife likes shoes too.
I know that.
I always tell my husband, you're lucky I don't like jewelry. It's only shoes.
Hey, shoes are probably more expensive than a ring. I know. But good. Jeannie, it was a pleasure to have you in the Dream City. And
Thank you so much.
I'm sure the community of Union City learned and a lot of things, information that you just provide. I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. It was a pleasure to have you in the Dream City. And you know this every Sunday at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Feel so happy and proud to have you.
Thank you. But wait a minute. You called me here to interview. Can I ask you a question?
Ask me. 10 seconds.
I would like to ask you, Kennedy, what do you like best about being on the Dream City?
I'm re-educating myself. I'm learning a lot about people that I associate on a daily basis. And we learn new things about every person. Things that we should know and we have to know. And other things, I believe that doing this, I'm giving back to the society what the society have given me. So I have to do something. And this is providing, could be a little things, but little things in the future can grow up and you get the fruits.
Absolutely, and you're doing a great job. Thank you for inviting me today.
Thank you. So I hope you see the program next Sunday at 7 p.m. The Dream City. Every Sunday we have a special guest, but tonight this was very special. The former of the Board of Education of Union City, New Jersey. Jeanette, let me call you Jeanette. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.